Following total atomic annihilation, the rebuilding of this great nation of ours may fall to you.
Alright, welcome to Building Settlements on a Budget. And the budget would be my machine that I play this game on, that we all know and love, Fallout 4. I got a lot of hours on this game. So the machine I'm using is an old refurbished Dell that I picked up for about 170 bucks. My only concern when I bought it was that it would run Fallout, basically, and I think it just barely meets those specs. Put about 10 gigs of RAM into it, and I picked up an NVIDIA GT 710, which I don't think quite meets the requirements, but this is basically what you get here. I should note, when I'm playing the game and I'm watching these recordings later, the game is a lot smoother than the recordings, and as I'm a total rookie at this, I'm gonna try to work that out a bit as I go here. But anyway, this is Sanctuary. I do have all the DLC and definitely use it with the buildings, and as you can see, I've got a few mods. This is my Institute mod. I can't remember the name of it, but it makes people for me, and it's great. The animations when this thing is running are super, super cool. Alrighty, let's jump down and take a look here at Sanctuary. It's the first settlement everybody comes across in their playthrough. And so I decided to put 4 upside down pyramids in here. Now, I love the upside down pyramid design. I've got a bunch of these in a bunch of my settlements because they are so easy to build. They're actually a lot easier to build than a giant rectangle. And I definitely like building to the upper limits of all the settlements. I like building multi-storied places.
Haven't you already interfered enough? Go away.
Jeez. Just can't make those settlers happy, no matter how many upside down pyramids and water purifiers you put in. Meet all their needs, 200 defense, still unhappy. As you can see, I've got some gorillas, but they actually came from a gorilla mod, just like the big boy there, the Kong. That's a pretty cool mod too. If you can find it, I suggest picking it up. Those giant King Kongs, though, they add 100 happiness to the settlement automatically, and I can't say I really like that very much. I found that out later. Because I do actually like to achieve the 100 happiness through, you know, the old-fashioned way of putting in 1,000,000 bars. So as you can see, I didn't do too much to these houses, you know.
So
as
which
it's
one
the
was
first
your house?
settlement you see.
Well,
I can patch you up
guess
if
they're
you
all
need.
yours now.
Or a
You're
small
definitely
fee.
more interested in the playthrough when you get here and playing through the main quest and, you know, exploding heads and stuff. That's also why we play the game. But yeah, just slapped in a few beds and put up a beacon and away I went. Nothing too spectacular going on in here. Like I said, we'll take a little tour of all the things I haven't really done. A few turrets. A little bit of defense. I don't get attacked much though. So I have all the DLC and a bunch of mods. Some of the mods I do remember the names of and I highly recommend are Tales from the Commonwealth. You get extra followers. Definitely have the flying mod if you want to build settlements, if you're doing a lot of that. Especially if you build them high, because the no falling damage will definitely speed up your settlement building process. Yeah, you got another sanctuary house I didn't do too much with. Pop a turret on there. Probably got a couple beds in the back. That way too, when I build my big buildings, I do like to leave a lot of the stuff in the settlements that's already there and just kind of use what's there. It just makes your life easier. Looks like I haven't even cleaned out this one yet. But then when I build the big buildings, I can turn them into hospitals or bars and casinos and such. Don't have to worry about, well, in quite a few of my settlements, I have 20 beds in a large open room. I actually
Some days are
found
harder
when you
than
build
others.
little rooms and
But
put
even the hard days
like
get
little
easier.
beds behind all these walls that the settlers get stuck, so just using whatever was there to begin with or the big open rooms for the beds I find helps. Unless you like having all your settlers stuck in a corner somewhere out of your business. They can definitely get quite whiny and irritating. Alright, here's my little
Most
mall.
folks are just looking for
When
a
I
hand.
first got here, you
All you
gotta
gotta
set
do is
something
offer.
up. Decided to build all this around people just coming up the road. Trash can Carla, definitely do some trading there. Have the workshop and everything all in the same spot. Thought it would streamline the operation. Ooh, the skeleton in the window. I love this house. I just thought this house was decorated so cool, so on my first playthrough I came in and I made this the player home. As you'll see in a bit, I didn't really, didn't do too much work. I was more into finding the kid and stuff and avenging the wife, I suppose, at the beginning. So here's my first player home. I got the clean bed. I think that safe was there. Not sure, but definitely put stuff in the safe and the dresser. This was the launch pad before the pyramids were built. Oh, if you'll excuse me, I gotta harvest some bones.
Lots of garbage in the Commonwealth. Guess someone has to pick it up.
Yep, I love turning that garbage into upside down pyramids and people. I need the bones to make the people. Alright, another house. Probably got some beds in the back. Sip of coffee for the Stone Cold Steve Austin fan. I love coffee. Alright, hanging out in Sanctuary. Not sure why I wanted
Sanctuary's,
to walk around so
really
far
nice.
with all this other
Yeah.
crap.
Good place.
But rest
Kinda
assured,
far away,
we'll
though.
be touring through those
Long walk.
pyramids in a minute.
Probably should keep the supplies closer to the city.
Quit interrupting me, Birdie. Birdie's a follower I got from another mod. I believe it's called Tales of the Commonwealth. The mod is definitely called Tales of the Commonwealth. I highly recommend it. Not so much for settlement building, but it gives you actual new companions and stuff. And if you're all done the game, you feel like you've done everything, download that mod and it'll give you all kinds of new stuff to do. It's pretty fun. That might be the first time I've gone into that mirror in this playthrough. Another reason I love this game so much. It's so freaking huge. Yeah, I believe those beds are from one of the DLCs. I'm really not the most prolific gamer in the world, so even though I play on a PC, I've just done that for convenience because I really don't play very many video games. And to keep up with all of the Xboxes and all of that stuff is, well, I guess I just don't do it anymore. I always have a computer, so. I remember I used to have cages on this pad here. Must have left a random generator behind. Just get rid of that. As I said, none of my settlements are ever actually done. There's always little bits here and there I can do. And yeah, I never really complete them. I think I had some designs of building over top of this house, which most people do when they first get here. It's the one with the workshop, and it's got all the stuff, so. But then, yeah, once I started building those upside down pyramids, definitely abandoned trying to build this place up, which I've done in other playthroughs. Yeah, it looks like I gotta go harvest some bones. I'll just take a look at the workshop anyway. Store a lot of mods in there, all my stuff. As you can see, quite a few bottle caps in there. That's also, I believe that's from Uncapped Settlement Surplus mod. I believe that's the name of it. Highly recommend that one as well. So when you can have 6,000 corn instead of it all being capped. And if you actually have the surplus, why shouldn't you have the surplus? And if you've got water purifiers cranking out 100 water at every settlement, why not be rich? That's the way I see it. I love being a Fallout millionaire. Although with other mods as well, I've gone into settlements where I don't have a supply line, but I can basically buy steel and buy wood and buy all of that, and I've actually spent $250,000 building a settlement. I'm not sure what mod it is or combinations of mods that allows me to do that, but I think it's actually more, I guess, I've heard people say immersive or realistic. Just to, I'm building all of Boston here, so the economy should reflect that a little more appropriately. Alrighty, let's take a look at the farm here. Always got to drop a feed trough, because fertilizer is great. One thing I've always done in all my playthroughs in order to make caps is, be Walter White. Make jet, man. Sell it. You make tons of money. And in order to make jet, you need fertilizer and plastic. And as long as you got Brahmin troughs, you're good to go. So I've got a pretty big farm. I should actually plant more food, because that's what I'm going to be doing now, is expanding my farms to get into the 100 levels of food and water, now that I know how to get more than to uncap the amount of people I'm allowed to have there. As you can see, I got 43 settlers. It can be tricky to get more settlers than that maximum amount, but, with mods and ingenuity. It's the walking bridge.
Greetings, buddy.
You don't know about the walking fridge? I suggest you look into it. This thing is handy. It will
Care
make
to
your beverages
wet
cold
your
for you.
whistle?
I highly recommend
Or
it.
do you
should have one of these in
require
every
a
settlement.
glass?
And I think there's a mod for that. But I just have
I'll take a beer.
Cold and refreshing.
And I don't believe Buddy's a mod. Buddy is part of the game. You just gotta find him. Definitely like mixing together the various pops from the Nuka-Cola DLC, the Nuka World DLC. And then you can put them in the fridge, and all of their effects are greatly increased. So Buddy's just great to have around. Plus his jokes are pretty funny too. Everywhere. I think this is where I was when I first got that mod. I might have went a little nutso with the gorillas. You can even make little tiny gorillas that meow like cats. So we start with the upside down pyramid with 1 square. And as you're going up, you just pop that square out half a step. Put walls on it. You have your upside down pyramid. You don't have to think about what you're doing really. You just keep popping it out half a step. When you're actually building buildings, there's a lot of blueprints and drawings, and you have to write things down and remember them. With the pyramid, you don't, which is why I actually believe that, you know, that's why they're the first giant buildings on Earth, because they're so easy to build. Anyway, this is my overseer's office. Most of my settlements will have one of these, including a bedroom that I try to keep to myself. And the way I do that is I have my companions, and I you know, put the moves on them and turn them into lovers, and I tend to leave them at each settlement. Every overseer's office is going to have a place for clothes, a place for weapons, you know, because I definitely will never ever get bored of collecting the legendary stuff. Every time it drops, I love it. I'm just giddy. And I leave it all, and it's not all here. Some of it I've left at other settlements. In my first playthroughs, I did though. I hoarded usually at Sanctuary was the main base where I kept all power armor, all bobbleheads and all that stuff. But now that this is my 4th playthrough, I'm not all that concerned with that kind of thing anymore. It's more of a, I guess settlement building is my biggest thing. I like making giant buildings. And wiring them, as I am an electrician in my day job, so using the conduit and wiring things up, I definitely find entertaining. So I got a display case with nothing in it. I think I may have had a weapon in here at one point, so these display cases might not be the safest place to put your weapons. And another one with the Grognak's axe. So yeah, you know, overseer's office, you want to show off a bit of stuff, got some mannequins and stuff, but anyway, where's Piper? I know Piper is my companion that basically I leave behind to run Sanctuary for me, and I assign her to this bed to keep the riffraff out of the overseer's bed. But she seems to be missing. As you all know, if you have a companion where you can sleep with them and end up with the Lover's Embrace perk, you get that sweet, sweet additional XP. But what's going on here? Where's Piper? I only feel well rested. I hope Piper isn't out there somewhere giving somebody else that sweet additional XP. Well, it's a mystery. Granted, she wasn't too impressed when she found out I am the new head of the Institute. Let's try this again. Maybe we'll just hang out around the house for 24 hours and see if she shows up. Ah, there she is. I missed you, Piper. Where were you last night, huh? Anyway, enough of that. Moving on. Every overseer's office should have a throne, in my opinion. Well, we're back down to the mall.
Ain't looking for trouble, I hope.
Thought I'd put some scary socialist looking art on the wall of the trendy clothing store, because that's what the kids are into nowadays, right? Right. Just jokes. Alright, coming up the stairs. I think first we're gonna go through this little walkway setup I set up here. I'm pretty proud of it. One of my first forays into trying to work with 45-degree angles. As you can see, the conduit, I have figured out a way to run in 45-degree angles. It's another building method that I got more into in other settlements. But, oh, looks like I gotta string some more lights around the back of that place. These settlements are never done. But anyway, so this is my little walkway setup that I set up between the 4 pyramids. And I think that refrigerator robot, he just wanders the walkways all day. Got
Lost track of
kitties
how many
everywhere.
blisters I got.
Let me know if there's anything I can do to lighten
As you
the
can
load.
see, a lot of my settlers.
If you ain't been up to
all
see Grey Garden, you
have
should
a
go.
striking
Whole
resemblance
place is
to
run by
my
robots.
dead wife.
Good to see
That's
you
because I
again.
made them in the People Maker. So here we are, main bar. This is, I used to be real big on collecting power armor. Nowadays, not so much. I
Would
do
you like
have one
a
walkthrough
cold
settlement,
one, or did you
where
want
I
to
put
hear a joke?
all of my armor. And it looks
I'll take
like
a beer.
seeing as how
Cold
I've
and
been asleep for a couple
refreshing.
days. My drink should be cold, so this is why you want to have Buddy in your settlement. All of the stats on those drinks are now way better. So anyway, yeah, thought I'd keep the best of the best power armor
Yes?
in this bar here.
The farm's not much, but it's something.
Yeah?
And I always try to set up these areas. This is where the happiness comes in. You got to set up the bars. When you have the Vault-Tec DLC, you get the slot machines and all
Crop's
that
coming in
stuff,
pretty
and
good.
they really help.
Huh?
So anyway, I just have some select power armors here. Just my favorite ones, I guess. I do have one settlement where I collected all of them and put them all in one place and actually cataloged them and stuff, but that might
My
be
back
another
hurts.
video.
My feet hurt. Everything hurts.
Huh?
I actually have a little gym up above the ceiling
Crop's
fans
been
there
growing
too.
pretty
I
good
think we're
lately.
gonna see that in a minute.
Can't remember the
Yeah,
last time
just-
I had clean fingernails.
Yeah, so here's the gym up here. Just trying to really maximize all the square footage somewhat. Although this was, when I built all this was the only pyramid.
Easy living,
And
this
then when I
ain't.
built the other ones, well, things got a little out of control. And all of a sudden I found myself with lots of square footage to play with. But at this point, yeah, I was kind of packing it in here. So up on this level, we just got the power armors sitting around. That is one badass power armor. Definitely my favorite one. I'm pretty sure I used a mod to just put whatever legendary mods I had into whatever pieces of power armor I wanted. I do believe I have a mod that can do that. Something like that. Apologies if I haven't explained that to you properly. Alright, take the elevator up. Why is there a 4-story elevator here? Why not? Actually, I use the elevators to find out where the tops of the settlements are. Literally, if I could finish that roof there, I would, but the game won't let me because we're currently above the top. I was pretty happy when it let me put the Institute mod in up here because it definitely goes up past the top limit of this settlement. Alright, so let's pop down into Pyramid 2 and the reactor room. This is also when you got the big reactors, it just seems to me that that's where you would have all the tools and the maintenance and stuff. So this is where I build my power armors. As you can see, I've got a bunch of trunks out where I actually separate the pieces into their respective categories. Makes life a little easier when you're looking for a helmet or a right arm. And you don't want to wade through all the Raider crap you got. So yeah, put the boxes down, put the neon labels on them. And now I know where all my crap is. Then around the corner here we got all the crafting, because it's Sanctuary, so why not? One-stop shopping. Survivor's Workbench, that's a mod. It's a great one. You can craft your own armor. Survivor's Digital Vendor. Another great mod. I don't know if it's the same mod actually, but that's the unit where I buy all my steel and glass. As you can see, I use a lot of glass. I love glass houses. Alright, so heading down, I'm gonna come into my first little crack at a hospital. Because if this was really a settlement, you would definitely want some kind of place to patch people up. You got Doc Suspenders there working away. Another good thing about the upside down
many
pyramid
doctors
build
around
is you
these
can
days.
get that
You should let me take a look at
360
you.
degrees of defense real easy. And setting up turrets everywhere becomes a very simple, full coverage. I know we like looking at spawn points and whatnot, but I tend not to think about that kind of thing and think about more of a actual defense of a settlement. So having 360 degrees of turrets is never a bad idea. As well as lockdown. I definitely take these little things into consideration when I'm building my places. This is kind of like the front door. You come across the bridge, and there's your welcome
A
committee.
pleasure to see you again, sir. Are you ready to depart?
Never really did get into the Automatron DLC, but that is one kick-ass robot, if memory serves. I haven't used that robot in a long time. And possibly my favorite animation in the game is looking at that Institute mod from below. If anybody's got this mod and they're not building it to be seen from below, man, I suggest rethinking what you do, because especially watching it build people and watching the people come out of that thing from below. It's kind of glitchy, but kind of neat. It just amuses the crap out of me. So here we have another little gym.
You can fix just about anything.
With
Guns, computers,
some extra space I didn't really know what to do with.
Just gotta have the right tools.
So I just left that wide open. Originally, when I built the skeletons of these buildings, they are just like wide open in the middle. As you can see, I had some real estate here to play with. So without giving away any spoilers, a lot of you
If
will
you work,
recognize the
you eat.
equipment
It's as
smoking
simple as
in the
that.
middle of this bar that I actually tried to turn into like a stage or a venue of sorts. If somebody could come up with a mod that would make like a drum set and a guitar and be able to assign settlers to it and make a band, I think that would be the coolest thing ever to put in these bars.
Need to get back to Diamond
Anyway,
City
just
one of
putting
these
that
days.
out there.
Biggest town I ever saw.
I don't know how to make mods. I'm not sure if I'm even capable
Yes?
of learning. So anyway, another bar. I left some of this old storyline stuff in here. Like I said, I don't want to give it away if you have no idea what that smoking stuff is. Although, I mean, the game is 5, 6 years old at this point. Everybody should know what this stuff is. Alright, so top of Pyramid 3. Nice little view of the street there. I think we're on Pyramid 3. Originally, this settlement only had the one pyramid. And then when I decided to build the second one, I got so lucky as to where that, because I built it from the top down. So I wasn't 100% sure where that bottom cell was gonna land. And it ended up landing right on the post on the left side of the bridge as you're leaving Sanctuary. So I thought that was pretty lucky for it to end up that way. And then the fourth one was even luckier, as we'll see a little later in this building, or in this video. Alright, moving on up. So, on the roof again. Left that one open, because why not? And check out the view over Sanctuary. My character is definitely a sniper. Probably part of why I build these places this way. So up in here in building number 4, we have just a big bedroom where if you don't get out of bed in the morning, you cook. Ha ha ha. And I believe this may have been my first bathroom. See, I never thought bathrooms were all that important, or, you know, I was like, well, it's kind of a waste of time. It doesn't really get me anything. But hey, these sinks work and they look cool. So, and yeah, I gotta admit, or a shout out to Oxhorn
Maybe constantly
for
trying
making
to
me
kill
want to
us,
put
but
bathrooms in my settlement, because I mean, really, they gotta go somewhere. So I see a lot of going back to old settlements and putting in bathrooms in my future. So we'll pop on down, back to the boardwalk level. And we're in another bar. This one's a little more chill. Got the big table there.
I used to be
for
scared
some
of super
banquets
mutants,
or
but we
whatever,
taught
I
them a
guess. I
lesson
don't know.
this time. Those
Wanna
uglies
get
will
that
think twice
settlement
before messing with us
happiness,
again.
gots to put in a lot of bars. And moving on down. Ha! My little hideaway room. This is for when I have a companion following me that I'm trying to make a lover, but I already have a lover companion in this. Well, you know what I mean. Alrighty, and down here, bottom floor,
I'll hand it to you.
last pyramid.
This place isn't
we
awful.
have-
It's still a hole, but it could be worse.
Jeez, Marcy, there's just no pleasing you. Like, look at all the slot machines and stuff. I know it'll fix your wagon. Hey, there's nobody running this here pop machine. So, Marcy, you're never happy. Drink the Kool-Aid, Marcy. Maybe that'll finally make Marcy quit complaining. You know, it's not such a bad gig running the soda fountain. Alright, we've got crops, we got a farm. Definitely should plant some more crops here because, oh, it looks like I currently have less food than people. That's a bit of a problem. That'll knock your happiness down pretty quick. I definitely love hanging out at the bottom of this settlement, just looking up. On this fourth pyramid here, when I landed it, it came very close to that house there. And it had to be there because it was the fourth one in order to maintain the symmetry. As you can see, I also like using concrete bases on my buildings just to make them look more like reality based. I do like to think that this building could theoretically exist. Well, thanks for watching. And I'll be doing a bunch more of these, so stay tuned.